rezoning battle.
I would like a full, complete repeal of blanket rezoning.
I really love this city and I would really like to continue living here after I graduate university.
Calgarians on both sides give City Council a piece of their mind. Plus, lives turned upside down in a fire.
I lost everything. Like, I have 2 kids and I'm pregnant and we lost everything.
Several people now without homes.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news. With Tara Nelson. Reporting tonight, Ian White.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. We begin with breaking news out of the city's southeast, where fire crews remain on the scene of a house fire that broke out in Radisson Heights. Tyson Fedor is live from the scene with the very latest. Tyson?
Ian, I can tell you neighbors here around 4:30 hearing loud pops and bangs from that home. That is now just a shell behind me. Some suspecting it may have been a propane tank because this home is under construction here in this neighborhood. It's an infill lot. It looks to be a duplex that was being built, but EMS do say to CTV News late this afternoon that one person was taken to urgent care with minor burn injuries. A second person on the scene is being treated for smoke inhalation, but most likely will be taken to hospital. It's here in the 2600 block of 11th Ave in the southeast, a 2-alarm fire this afternoon. Neighbors being evacuated from homes. It included a dog and a cat from one of the neighboring homes. More than 100 people could be seen here on the street watching firefighters tackle this blaze. We did speak to some nearby residents who describe exactly what they saw.
I got here about 15 minutes ago and the house was pretty on fire already, but we already had the fire trucks basically on scene.
I come up just as the fire trucks were getting here. And the flames, how tall were they? 30, 40 feet above the roof?
Yep.
Yeah.
And we saw the people leave the house like we saw people leave the neighbor's house. So that was probably terrifying for them.
Now, being under water restrictions, it's unclear at this point how much water is being used to put this home out behind me. At this point, the fire is under control. Firefighters looking for hot spots at this time. Neighbors have gone back inside their homes. They still do remain on the street. However, at this point, Ian, I can tell you no cause has been identified in exactly what sparked this blaze, but investigators will remain here on scene for at least a couple more hours.
Tyson, thanks very much. And a rude awakening for residents of an apartment building in northeast Calgary as a powerful explosion and fire early this morning left at least 5 families with nowhere to live. Kevin Green reports.
Just after 3:30 Monday morning, an explosion rocked this quiet street in Highland Park, setting this 5-unit apartment building on fire.
I was sleeping and I heard a big explosion and our front door was off of its hinges.
The windows all blow out. I don't know, it was like a movie. It just kind of went just very forcefully out.
Her mom was still inside the apartment.
I thought I heard a bang. I don't know what it was. And then I felt like something hit my back. And then all of a sudden everything, the doors in front of me go flying out.
By the time they made it to the street, the building was burning.
The whole house, 5plex, engulfed in flames within a minute.
At least 3 of the 5 units are gutted, others uninhabitable due to fire, smoke, and water damage.
Kind of really terrifying, not gonna lie, I panicked.
Firefighters remained on the scene throughout the day, knocking down hot spots and investigating the explosion and fire. One person was taken to hospital with smoke inhalation. Everyone else got out safely, but while they're physically fine, that doesn't mean they're all okay.
My son just passed away 4 weeks ago, and so I just picked up all of his belongings and his ashes and everything, and so that's all gone. So I have nothing left of him now.
I lost everything. I have 2 kids and I'm pregnant and we lost everything. And so I'm just I think in a state of shock. So I don't really know what to do.
Well, your hearts go out to those people there. Kevin is live at the scene tonight. And Kevin, there were also some pets in the building too.
There were several pets in the building. That woman that you heard at the very end there, she had 2 dogs and 7 cats. The 2 dogs got out okay, but she doesn't know where the whereabouts or whether the 7 cats survived. In the meantime, firefighters are still here on the scene. They're parked just down the block and going in and out of the house. They've been investigating all day to try and determine the cause of the explosion and the fire here. As yet, that remains unresolved. Ian?
Thank you, Kevin. And breaking news in BC, police say 3 heli-skiers have died after being caught in an avalanche near Terrace. Police say the victims were caught in the slide on Mount Naus yesterday afternoon. 1 survivor has serious injuries. Also yesterday, 1 person died in a remote area near the far northwestern BC community of Atlin near the Alaska border. Helicopter video from the Icefields Parkway is giving us an idea of the massive scale of a controlled avalanche. Parks Canada has been doing avalanche control along the highway, and crews are currently working to clear this massive pile of snow near Mount Hector. The parkway between Lake Louise and Jasper remains closed, and there's no estimated time for reopening. This controlled avalanche sent snow onto the road, covering a 250-meter-long section. It's estimated the snow is up to 12 meters deep in some places. You can check Alberta 511 for updates. The rezoning debate has been reignited at City Hall. Hundreds of Calgarians are set to speak this week before Council decides whether to get rid of the land use rules. Jordan Canagan is at City Hall with more. And Jordan, the public hearing will take days.
This is not going quickly, Ian, and it is a similar debate as to what we had just under 2 years ago when a similar marathon meeting was held over blanket rezoning. But it's a mostly new council, and many of those new councillors campaigned on getting rid of the contentious bylaw. Now, it is something that hundreds and hundreds of Calgarians will be here at City Hall to speak of, and it's something some of those Calgarians are already seeing the impacts of. It's a crammed council chambers again, with blanket rezoning back on the agenda.
It's not just about whether or not we should keep or scrap blanket rezoning. It's more so about how we can continue to grow.
And more than 360 people have signed up to weigh in. 2,400 written submissions also coming in. A public hearing will take days.
A lot of people, over 200 people actually, said that they put opposed when really they're saying they're opposed to blanket rezoning, not opposed to the motion to repeal it.
A majority of the feedback so far favors getting rid of blanket rezoning, which was passed less than 2 years ago. They want to see it go back to the old rules.
This whole concept of blanket rezoning lacked any kind of thought behind it. It creates chaos and it creates so many problems.
About 630 projects have moved forward in Calgary since rezoning was passed that would have required individual land use amendments.
We worked very hard to build this all up and whatnot, redo everything and whatnot. All the neighbors have done the same thing and whatnot. And now it's being destroyed.
Arden Conley says a proposed project next door to his property would see an 8-unit complex replace a single-family home.
It destroys it. It destroys the value of the properties.
Rezoning was passed to speed up the process to get more housing supply, including building row homes and townhomes.
I really love this city, and I would really like to continue living here after I graduate university. And I think a major proponent of that is going to be the rezoning for housing.
Council will have to determine whether to go back to square one or make small changes to the bylaw.
Yeah, I think there's a modified targeted change solution here. You know, you'll never have the perfect solution that satisfies everyone.
Now, councillors are set to sit for 12 hours each day to make their way through those hundreds of speakers. Then they'll have to decide whether to repeal that bylaw or make changes. Some of the proposed changes could include limiting row homes and townhomes to only corner lots of streets and bringing down the maximum amount of units to 6 per lot instead of 8. They just finished panel 8 of 73. A long way to go, Ian.
Yes, could be a long week indeed. Thanks very much, Jordan. The Calgary Airport says its thoughts are with Air Canada passengers, crew and others impacted by the fatal crash at LaGuardia Airport. Investigations are underway to figure out how the deadly crash between an Air Canada Express jet and a fire truck happened. 2 pilots were killed and more than 40 people hospitalized. Geneviève Beauchemin reports.
Parts of the mangled cockpit hang from the Air Canada Express wreckage as investigators piece together the cause of the collision.
Man, that wasn't good to watch.
Chilling audio from the air control tower reveals some of the communications leading up to the crash and its horrifying aftermath.
Man, that wasn't good to watch.
Yeah, I know I was here. I tried to reach out to my stuff, and we were dealing with an emergency earlier. I messed up.
No, man, you did the best you could.
At around 11:40 p.m. Sunday, a Port Authority fire truck is responding to another emergency. Another plane reporting odor in the cabin.
Truck 1 and Company, LaGuardia Tower, requesting to cross 4 at Delta.
Truck 1 and Company, cross 4 at Delta.
Truck 1 and Company, crossing 4 at Delta.
Stop, Truck 1. Stop. Stop, Truck 1. Stop.
The CRJ 900, operated by Jazz Aviation, landing at LaGuardia, smashes nose first into the truck of the airport's runway 4.
Sadly, the 2 pilots are confirmed deceased, and notifications are being made by Air Canada's care team at this time.
One of those pilots was Antoine Forêt from Coteau-du-Lac, Quebec. A flight attendant was found nearly 100 meters from the plane, still strapped in her jump seat that was ripped from the airplane. CTV News has confirmed that her name is Solange Tremblay and that she was undergoing surgery.
We're fully supporting the relevant investigative authorities in their investigation to learn everything we can about these events.
Dozens of passengers were treated and released, but others are in serious condition in hospital.
Everybody's screaming. Pretty quickly, we didn't have any directions because the pilot's cabin had been kind of destroyed. So
he smashed his face into the seat in front of him, broke his glasses.
Sarah Dorner's husband, a professor at Montreal's Polytechnic Institute, was on board.
And he smelled gas, so he was encouraging people to just slide down, go down the wing. He was there to catch them.
Canada's National Transportation Safety Board has also dispatched a team of investigators to assist in the probe. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
And CTV News has confirmed the names of the other crew members on board the flight. According to Nouveau Info, co-pilot Mackenzie Gunter also died in the crash. The other flight attendant is Francois Grenier. In the Middle East, the U.S. has extended a deadline for Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, a crucial waterway for shipping.
They want peace. They've agreed they will not have a nuclear weapon, et cetera, et cetera. But we'll see. You have to get it done. But I would say there's a very good chance. And it began when I said that I won't be. We were planning tomorrow on shooting down some of their power plants, and we're going to hold that up. Hopefully, we won't have to do it, and hopefully, we can make a deal that's good for all of us.
The U.S. president says strikes on Iranian power plants will be postponed for 5 more days. Donald Trump insists American envoys have been talking with a respected Iranian leader, but Tehran denies such negotiations have taken place. Trump also says his country will try to retrieve Iran's enriched uranium and end its nuclear program as part of a deal. And that conflict is bumping up fuel prices and creating havoc for investors trying to figure out what happens next. Tyler Barrow has that story.
As President Trump says a deal to end the war with Iran may be close, the markets take another big swing. On Monday, Canadian and U.S. markets rose sharply as the positive news gave investors a reason for optimism.
It's going to go in every direction, depending upon the rhetoric, the conversation, and potentially negotiation and agreement at some point in time.
Trump says he will postpone hitting Iran's energy infrastructure for 5 days to allow for negotiations. Investors are watching closely.
Definitely pay attention to it quite a bit. I would say it is a bit concerning.
Very concerning, and I wish I could say I was doing something more active, but honestly, mostly trying not to think about it.
Definitely is affecting my investments. I'm concerned in the short term, but in the longer term, I think it might be beneficial.
As turbulence moves the market up and down and up again, financial experts are telling their clients to consider their timeline and risk tolerance.
Really understand that if you're down 20, 30%, is that comfortable to you given the position that you may have, given what's happening in the market.
While the markets are up, West Texas Intermediate oil dipped below $90 a barrel on Monday. Throughout the city, fuel ranged in price as Gas Buddy had the lowest pegged at $1.49 a litre. Other stations selling for over $1.75. As oil prices fell, drivers should expect gasoline prices to follow.
Come Wednesday, gas prices are going to fall net 14 cents or more a litre. Diesel could fall as much as 19 cents a litre.
Good news for those trying to cut costs.
Trying to avoid road trips as much as possible and just trying to stick around from closer to home and potentially carpooling.
And Tyler joins us with more. So Tyler, while the expert you spoke with says gas prices should drop, we shouldn't be counting on the province for any tax relief.
Ian, the Alberta Fuel Tax Relief Program only kicks in once the average price of oil in the last month of a quarter is above $80 a barrel. The 20 trading days leading up to March 16th, it was just above $75, so no relief. The next review period runs from May 18th to June 15th, and if met, relief would be provided July 1st.
Thanks, Tyler.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
We have reached the halfway point of planned reinforcement work on the Bearspaw South feeder main. The city says work is progressing well. Concrete has been poured at all 9 segments, and once it's cured, backfilling will begin. Calgarians continue to watch their water use. Sunday, we used 504 million litres of water, but the city says 5 million can be traced directly to the city. It was refilling a portion of the feeder main after a valve was repaired at the Shaganappi pump station. This section will be connected to the water system tomorrow once water quality tests are complete, resulting in some cloudy water.
Yeah, and so the cloudy water is really the turbidity as we bring the pipe back into service. And so there will be a bit of higher turbidity as we bring the pipe back into service. The water is safe to drink, and it will be northern communities. I don't have the exact communities for you, but those in the northern part of the city.
New traffic patterns were supposed to begin tomorrow at 16th Avenue and 44th Street Northwest, but the city says those will start early next week. And a reminder, current lane closures remain in effect. Jody is with us with a first look at the weather. We've had a couple days without some snow, but it's coming back again.
Well, it is, and today was actually the nicest day for the next few. So if you had a chance to spend some time outside, you did well. 7 is our current temperature, and that was our forecast high, the normal 5 degrees. But we are definitely looking at a change. We have cloud cover into the BC interior and the southeast portion, and then looking at some clear skies here. But a number of weather advisories in place, including some yellow level snowfall warnings and some yellow level winter storm warnings, special weather statements, air quality warnings as well from BC. I'll tell you why and how that will impact us in just a moment.
Thanks, Jody. It's certainly one way to stay engaged, putting a brush to canvas. Later, the seniors who are finding purpose with art, and why Alberta municipalities could get an unexpected bill from the province. Municipalities in Alberta have been told they may get a bill from the province for having integrated firefighter paramedics. With agreements expiring this September, the province says it's updating how ambulance services are contracted. As Nicole Weisberg tells us, the new approach is putting municipalities in a difficult position.
We've been providing EMS services to Strathcona County since 1972.
Eric Lowe is president of the union branch representing Strathcona County fire medics. More than 20 years ago, he started working strictly as a paramedic, but trained in firefighting when he came here.
Our members are cross-trained, so in their roles as firefighters, they are also paramedics.
Lowe says that comes in handy in many situations, including car crashes, structure fires, and more.
So, for example, we had a trench collapse recently where our members are technical rescue specialists, but they're also paramedics. So while they're rescuing a trapped occupant in a hole, they're also able to provide medical care.
Lowe is concerned about the future of the integrated service. With agreements expiring this September, the province is updating how ambulance services are contracted.
They're very much approaching the 7 municipalities who have integrated firefighter paramedics with a deal that says, here's our EHS direct delivery costs. Should you be more than that, which you all are, you have to subsidize that difference if you want to stay in the EMS industry. We want a 10-year deal out of you, and you have 2 weeks to say yes or no to this.
The province says it's now extended its deadline to municipalities until the end of next month. A ministry statement says the new approach supports fiscal responsibility while maintaining Alberta's long-standing blended model of public services and contracted partners. If municipalities decide to end their integrated service, it says they'll transition to EHS or become part of a competitive search process.
A for-profit provider to come in a municipal shop and run the provision of EMS, they will put profit over everything else.
CTV News reached out to several impacted municipalities. All declined interviews, saying they are weighing their options. Nicole Weisberg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Lethbridge's overdose prevention site is among the facilities being shuttered by the province. It's been open since 2020 after the Arches safe consumption site closed. In December, Lethbridge's mayor asked the province to close it and reallocate its funding. $3.9 million in funding each year will now go to outreach teams and recovery supports in Lethbridge. The province says it can shutter the facility after a sharp drop in overdose deaths.
In 2023, we had 117 overdose deaths, and that was in the Lethbridge area. In 2025, it's down to 11. I mean, that's almost a math genius here, but I mean, it seems like almost a 90% drop, right? So this shows us that the system itself is working.
The site will close June 30th.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
Okay, Jody, let's be clear. There is a snowfall warning, but it's not for Calgary.
It is not for Calgary, but it is concerning in its own right in certain regions, and I'll show you why. But as we take a look at our conditions, even on our roadways within the city of Calgary, as you know, we've had such beautiful temperatures, so much melting. Even that snow that we had over the weekend, we had that warmer surface temp, and so it didn't last very long, and now we're back into these nice dry road conditions in all quadrants. Temperature wise, you can see where that warmth is. We have and even the contour, 7 degrees in Calgary, a little cooler in Edmonton, cooler still into the northern portion of our prairie provinces, and then double-digit temps in Lethbridge at 13 and 10 degrees in Medicine Hat. That ridge of high pressure continuing to keep our temperature elevated here, but you can start to see a little bit of instability with this cooler air mass that will start to impact us in the Calgary area over the next 24 hours, and then our temperature will stay below freezing for a good few days. We're also expecting precipitation. So when we take a look at where we're at in terms of measurable snow on the ground, obviously those warmer values we've had helping to reduce the amount of snow that you can still measure on the ground here, but still seeing some higher measurements or higher depths into those Rocky Mountains in northern Alberta. Our cloud cover right now seems like there's really nothing going on, but there is actually a system moving in. So we have yellow level warnings for snowfall to the west and winter storm warnings, special weather statements in through the interior, and air quality advisories as well, as we're looking at that air that is compromised, your particulate a little heavier into the areas closer to the surface along the Trans-Canada as you're going into BC. And of course, right now, we're very keenly aware of the avalanche risk as we've been dealing with those conditions that even as we're heading into the weekend, we had most areas and regions under a high level of risk as we were looking at that snow depth being very unstable, or the snowpack within our mountain ranges. We have had some slides, as you know, all of that extra precipitation not helping out. And then there is more coming in. So we have some mixed precip that will first enter the Rockies, the foothills, and then scattered flurries throughout the Calgary area, making our way into Thursday. Temperature-wise, we'll have those few days where we stay below freezing and then make it back up to above seasonal values. So another big swing in temperatures Thursday to Friday, going from -2 back to 9 degrees. Your Action Furnace 5-day forecast, you'll see overnight values cooler for the next few nights and then warming up after that.
Thank you, Jody. Some motorcyclists in Alberta are now in search of new insurance policies. Next, the insurance company that's saying no to people with clean driving records. And arrests after a vandalism spree in a Calgary neighborhood. The AMA is hitting the brakes on some motorcycle insurance plans. Alberta's auto insurance industry is getting a revamp in 2027, but already people are having their policies changed. Evan Kenny has reaction from the motorcycle community.
Anyone else get a notice of non-renewal from their insurer?
It's been a common question in motorcycle groups over the last week.
What is a good company in Alberta to insure my motorbike? Because AMA is saying that after my term, they're taking it off.
Some riders with insurance through AMA are receiving letters saying their policy would not be extended even if they have a clean driving record.
Like, is it just going to be, you can't insure a motorcycle in Alberta anymore?
With Alberta's upcoming shift to a care-first system, if you're injured in a crash, instead of suing the driver who caused it, your insurance would compensate you based on rates set by the province. AMA says that's part of the reason it's not renewing a small number of policies for riders who represent a significantly higher injury risk.
These insurance companies are almost just going out on a limb and saying, like, we are assuming that something is going to happen and we are assuming we're going to have to pay for your damages or whatever, but that's also kind of what insurance is for.
I've checked my insurance like a week ago and I still have insurance, so I should be okay, knock on wood.
Riders with coverage under other insurance companies are worried they could be next.
I think people should be entitled to the insurance. They pay their money.
AMA is the only insurance company CTV News could confirm is not renewing customers because of the upcoming changes to Alberta's insurance model.
If you're paying this insurance premium for X amount of years, and say you're 5 years into paying for a premium and it's $1,000 a year, you've now paid them their $5,000. They should be there beck and call to kind of cover that and pay it.
The province says it was assured by AMA changes to its insurance policies were not associated with the transition to Care First. The new insurance rules go into effect January. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Edmonton.
A group of teens faced charges after a string of vehicles were vandalized in the southeast community of Legacy Village. It happened early Sunday morning in the 100 block of Legacy Village Way. More than 20 vehicles and buildings were spray painted with pink paint along with sidewalks and fences. It was a shock and disappointing to people who lived in the area to discover on Sunday morning.
And from my second story view, I saw the white Suburban with some writing on it. Couldn't figure out what was going on there, and I thought, first of all, it was like, oh, some kids own the vehicle and they're just decorating it, and now you learn otherwise.
3 girls aged 12, 13, and 16 have been charged with mischief to property over $5,000. If you ever get to sit in business class, you may never go back. Ahead and trending, the newlywed who embraced every second of his time in business class. Some Calgary seniors are sharing their stories through different forms of art. A grand opening of a new resident art gallery was held today at Generations Calgary in the Northeast. The exhibit features artwork created by more than 60 residents in long or continuing care. It's part of an art therapy program that began a year ago. It aims to improve mental health, connection, and purpose for seniors.
I think music, art, they're all mediums of expressing ourselves without having to use words. Yeah. So I think it allows us a form of expression that we sometimes lose as we age. And so it's been a really positive way to allow individuals who may not be able to articulate to express something they've been feeling or thinking.
And the art gallery is open to the public. It will be on display at Generations Calgary in Skyview until March 31st. If you've spent your days as an airline passenger with your body crammed into an economy seat, the transition to business class is greatly appreciated.
We're going business. No.
Check out Rob. His new wife surprised him with an upgrade to business class on their honeymoon, and he loved it. Rob savored the drinks, the meal, even his sleep. But will he be able to go back to economy again?
Probably not, huh?
This is where being 5'2" is handy.
Yes. You don't have your knees bumped up against the guy in front of you.
Something better than an upgrade, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So good.
I got to say, I have had the upgrade on occasion, and on an 8-hour flight overseas, greatly appreciated. It really is something special. All right, you may remember on Friday we showed you an Airbnb inside an airplane in Bali for only $40 a night. This short-term rental is considerably more expensive and also a pretty cool experience. This sports-themed Airbnb in Texas has something for everyone. An outdoor pool, sports courts, a baseball diamond, a golf simulator, even a slide in a bedroom. At $1,500 a night, it may be too costly, but you could split it with the 21 other guests who can stay here. The owner posted the video to demonstrate how others can make money off their pricey homes.
You'd never want to leave.
Oh, it's incredible, isn't it?
The slide in my house, in my bedroom, much smaller than that. It's disappointing.
And Glenn, I know you love the golf simulator, right?
Be down there all the time, no doubt.
Wonderful.
Better go down the slide.
And then head to the pool afterward, of course. Well, it's always fun to see your hometown through the eyes of someone from elsewhere. And yesterday, singer-songwriter Alan Doyle took his Facebook fans on a tour of Calgary.
1969, two things were born in Newfoundland. Mary Brown's chicken and Alan Doyle. Coincidence? I don't think so.
Doyle found a little piece of Newfoundland at Mary Brown's Chicken in Kensington. He said Kensington is a really cool neighborhood, and he even picked up a coffee at Higher Ground. Doyle also said he often gets lost in Calgary because, unlike St. John's, there's no waterfront to keep you oriented.
Yeah, he seems like a really good guy.
He does.
Doyle, right? Like,
He is a wonderful guy. Yeah. And just a tip for Alan Doyle, when you get lost in Calgary, look toward the mountains. The mountains are always west.
There you go, Ellen.
So that you get reoriented
Tips
again.
from Ian.
They rarely move, yeah.
Geography tips. They were the homes that suffered some of the greatest damage during Alberta's floods in 2013. Still to come, from destroyed to for sale. Why it's now considered safe to build a riverfront home here.
Well, we have a little bit of light cloud across the city of Calgary, mild wind. Temperature-wise, it was beautiful today. We are going to see our temperatures drop down, though, in our 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace, fixed rate or it's free. Expecting to make it down to about -4 by the morning, and we have a chance of some flurries earlier in the day, looking at -1 for that afternoon high as compared to 7 degrees, which is today's daytime high in our current temperature. When you look across the country, you can really see that difference in where we have our warmer air, our colder air in place into the northern portion of our prairie provinces up toward the territories, and then even sinking down into southern Ontario, and some precipitation there. More precipitation moving in our way as we take a look at that low pressure system, that trough in the Pacific Basin that will be edging in toward the BC coastline, leaving us with room for that colder air mass, that polar vortex, to sink a little further to the south and bring that colder air right through to the region, all the way across from southern BC into Ontario. As we make our way into Wednesday, Thursday, we'll start to see this change, and a ridge of high pressure comes in. This is where we bring more of that warm Pacific air into the Calgary area, but before that, looking at that likelihood of scattered flurries here. Banff definitely going to see it before we will, because it's a west-east pattern, and then Lethbridge as well.
Thanks, Jody. Fire has destroyed a home under construction in the southeast community of Albert Park, Radisson Heights. Large flames broke out at about 4:40 this afternoon, and black smoke can be seen from across the city. Paramedics say one person has minor burns and one person is being treated for smoke inhalation. And fire forced a number of people out of a 5-plex in the northeast overnight. Everyone got out, although one person was taken to hospital with smoke inhalation. The rezoning debate is back at City Hall. This time, council will determine whether to scrap the land use changes that were passed just 2 years ago. New homes could soon be coming to Roxborough, on the site where homes were demolished after the catastrophic 2013 floods. The properties on Roxborough Road Southwest were purchased by the province because they were deemed too unsafe to rebuild on. But since then, flood mitigation has changed the risk pattern for flooding. The lots are zoned for single-family homes with restrictive covenants and range in price from $1.7 to $3 million. The real estate agents selling the properties say potential buyers should research the opportunity and decide on their own risk tolerance.
We expect that there will be a lot of demand for these properties. Waterfront in Calgary is pretty exclusive. There's not a lot of supply of it, so we do expect a lot of demand. In the event that we have multiple offers on these properties, which we do expect, we will set times, at which case the province will be reviewing those offers in a rolling sequence.
The lots are now listed on the multiple listing service for potential buyers to have a look. North American markets rebounded today after the U.S. president said Washington has talked to Iran about a possible end to the war. BNM Bloomberg's Mirella Fernandez has more.
The news sent the price of oil into free fall after 3 weeks of climbing higher. At the start of the day, West Texas Intermediate sank more than $10 U.S. a barrel. Energy stocks have been spiking with the key oil shipping route paralyzed by the conflict. Donald Trump says he will postpone hitting Iran's energy infrastructure for 5 days to allow for negotiations. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to $72.86. West Texas Intermediate dropped over $10 to $88.13. Western Canadian Select is up to $81.91. And the TSX gained 566 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Mirella Fernandez.
120 athletes between the ages of 6 and 50 plus competed in jump roping events this weekend in Calgary. The event was a national championships qualifier. It was also a chance to show what they've learned throughout this competitive season when it comes to precision, speed events, and choreographed freestyle routines performed to music. The National Jump Rope Championships take place in Abbotsford, BC over the May long weekend. Team Canada came up just short at the Women's World Curling Championship. Now it's the men's turn as they head to Utah. Glenn has that story next. Tabor is a finalist in the Craft Hockeyville competition. The town will compete against Tumbler Ridge, BC, with the winner receiving $250,000 and an invitation to host an NHL preseason game. The runner-up receives $100,000. Tabor's Community Center Arena was badly damaged when a Zamboni exploded in December. The national vote happens April 3rd and 4th. The Calgary Flames have been perfect so far on this 6-game homestand. Glenn is back with us. And Glenn, weren't the Flames supposed to struggle after the trade deadline?
Ian, the Flames are supposed to be going through a rebuild or whatever you want to call it. But so far on the homestand, they're a perfect 3-0. Last night, they beat one of the top teams in the league. Flames up against the Lightning last night. This game would go to overtime. The Flames would get possession, and 19-year-old Matt Fay-Gridden would make the Bulls pay. Just look at how strong he is on the puck. He takes it behind the net, feeds in front to Ryan Strome, and he buries the game winner past Jonas Johansson. Flames beat the Lightning 4-3 in overtime. Here's an incredible stat. The Flames, an unbeaten 54 games when they score 4 or more goals.
Just great poise by him, great confidence. Obviously for a young guy to have that poise to hold on to it in overtime and make a nice little slip play is impressive. He's got a lot of great tools, and a lot of these young guys, you give them a little more open ice than 3-on-3, they can make good plays. So
I think it's a little bit more consistency, and we're sticking with it. And there's been some good energy around our team lately. We talked about losing players, but we brought some good players in that are quality people and good hockey players, and I think that's helped as well.
Flames continue their homestand tomorrow night as they take on the Los Angeles Kings. The Men's World Curling Championship gets underway on Friday in Ogden, Utah. Canadian skip Matt Dunstone is going to the Worlds for the first time.
Make it go away, and there they go, and he is the Heartbreak Kid no more, Matt Dunstone.
Matt Dunstone's rink was one of the best stories at this year's Brier. Dunstone had never won a Canadian championship. It was emotional. But now he says they've moved on and can hardly wait to wear the maple leaf and represent Canada at the Worlds.
There was a lot of storylines for each of us individually on why representing Canada again would mean a lot to us. And so that's what's going to make this World Championship really special. Not going to take it for granted, obviously. And, Canadian curling's been on a nice little stretch here. And, I'm excited to be a part of that and hopefully continue that run that we've been on.
Like the Women's World, some of the big-name teams won't be there, but the field is still good. And third Colton Lott says no matter who they face, Canada will be ready.
I think for us, it doesn't matter who we play. We're going to go out there, stick to our game plan, stick within the team, and perform at the best that we can.
The Harndens, also known as the Broom Brothers, round out Team Dunstone. For EJ, this will be his last Worlds. He's retiring from competitive curling after this year.
This just feels like it's a bonus. Like there's just, I don't know, a very light, like sort of lightness that I feel and excitement that I feel. And I haven't felt this way in a number of years. And I'm really, really looking forward to literally just getting on the plane and starting this process and this journey with the guys.
And it'll also be special for Ryan, being there with his brother when it's all said and done.
Just very excited. I just love to, obviously EJ being his last, event. It's just going to be special to end it together.
Canada's first game will be against Korea on Friday afternoon. Team Canada had a brilliant week at the Women's World Curling Championship at Winsport. Unfortunately, they just fell short. Carrie Anderson and her rink up against Switzerland in the final of last night in the championship game. 10th end, Switzerland leading 6-5. They've got the hammer. Anderson needs to nudge the Swiss rock to be shot rock, but doesn't quite get enough of it. Switzerland wins the Women's World Championship, beating Canada 7-5. Anderson, classy as always, after the game.
Yeah, it's definitely tough, but at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. I look up and see my girls standing there, and I don't want them to think that losing is the end of the world. It's still pretty special to be able to bring home a medal, and I know we wanted gold, but silver's pretty special too. And the girls told me when I give them a hug, it's an upgrade, Mom.
What a great attitude, and something we can all learn from. When asked about the future of the team, Anderson said she doesn't know yet. We'll just have to wait and see.
I saw lots of Team Canada hockey jerseys around Winsport over the weekend. You could tell there was an international competition going on.
It was awesome. Winsport put on a great show, by the way.
Wonderful. Yeah. Okay, so Jody, we're cooling off for the middle of the week, but by Friday and Saturday, warming up again.
Absolutely. We head back to double-digit temperatures, but before that, we're looking at -4 overnight, a chance of some scattered flurries. Our weather window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. Roy took this photo southeast of Calgary, showing off our beautiful Rockies, which will be playing a role in our forecast in the next 24, as we're looking at snowfall warnings to the west and winter storm warnings in through BC. Here in Calgary, about 1 to 2 centimeters of snow for tomorrow and a few more on Wednesday.
All right, sounds great. Thanks very much. Thank you for joining us. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.